I have a lot of vices.
This one, and this one.
This one, which actually bolts onto my drill, I think.
This one, and this one.
Well, I say a lot. I only use this one, but I need to bolt it down. So that's one of the things to do, but I think I'm going to fix another one first. There's one that needs a new handle and a new spring, a leg vise that is. And so I'll do that, I think, because then I can have that one sort of to move around because it's quite handy, you know. I want this one to be bolted down so that I can then, you know, proper whack on that one, you know, and forge ram's heads and dragon heads and whatever the hell I want. Because you need a bit more sturdy and security when you're doing that. But then I want another one that I can move around if I'm ever doing any bending or, you know, you need to get a specific angle on it. It's much easier then to have one that you can move out. Anyway, let's get on with it. So this is the one that I'm going to try and repair. It needs a new handle and a new spring. And there's probably loads of other stuff that's wrong with it. But I think today I'm going to make the handle. So I'll probably forge weld a piece, it's quite heavy. I'll probably forge weld the collar on and then a tenon on the other end and then make a ball and tenon the ball on, I think. Or something like that. We'll work it out. Anyway, let's get to it. I've been having to think about this handle because it's actually, I don't know, it's quite complicated because I'm going to do a tenon on one end, but then like a sort of like a ball pyramid thing on the other. But that involves quite a lot of forge welding, so I'm going to upset one end and get the material for that forge weld, spin it around, do the tenon because that also involves an upset to get a square shoulder. So, and I can't do this first upset with a tenon on the other end, is that I'll then mess the tenon up. So I think this is probably the best way to do it. You've just got to get the order of operations correct. You see I've got quite a big upset there. It's just because when we forge weld, you know, I'll lose some of this material, so I need a bit more in there. Just so that when I forge weld, it doesn't go below the diameter of the rest of the bar, basically. So now I'll flip it over and I'll forge a tenon on this end, which we can then put like a flattened ball on for the other end of the handle. Now I have this material sectioned off, I'm going to go octagon and then round, and hopefully this will be about 8mm round bar. Time for the monkey tool. So a monkey tool is a block of steel with a hole drilled in. This is 8mm round, which fits the tenon we've just made. So the tenon will go in, upset that, get a nice square shoulder on there, so that we can have that. I'm going to make a squish ball, so that'll, with a punch hole in, that'll go over the end and riveted on once the handle's in the vise to sort of secure it all together. This end is all done now with a nice square shoulder, so I'm going to begin to forge the collar to then put around the other end to forge weld on to create like a bit of a handle. So the camera wasn't filming the first time round, but basically I've just taken this 12mm bar and I'm just making it half round in this way, basically. Just so that then I have a flat surface to weld, now that will be the inside of the collar there. I'll begin rolling this collar up on the end of the horn here, and then I'm going to take it over to the vise where we actually have the piece, 16mm bar in it, and I'll get it around that. I'll take an angle grinder to this now and just cut this collar off so we're ready for forge welding. Time for a fire weld. I've got this end all forged up now. It's looking quite clean on the end, that's quite good, but here it's gone a little bit below 16 mil, so I should have upset it a bit more and not taken quite as many forge welding heats on it, but you know, it's still alright. What I'm going to do now is I've cut this cubing material, so I'm going to try forge a ball out of this and then squash it, punch a hole in, and that'll go on the other end. I've no idea how I'm going to hold this. I've never made a ball like this, so I've got a feeling this could fly all over the place. But let's have a go. Alright, so I'm going to try and knock these corners off. But this is just going to fly everywhere out of these pairs of tongs. So let's see. I've been working this a little bit more. It's still very boxy, but it's getting there. It's quite hard to do. I've never done one like this before. It's interesting. So yeah, I'll keep forging this and then I'll show you again in a minute. This is looking better now. I'll just work on it, get it a bit more even before I then knock all of these other corners down, I think. I don't really know, I'm making it up. There it is. It's still a bit squarish, but it's pretty good. So I'll flatten it now, because I need a flat spot for the shoulder on the tenon. As you can see, as you can see, it's quite hard to get hold of. I'll punch a hole in it now. Just an 8mm one for the tenon. Alright, I'll drift this hole a bit more, because it's not quite 8mm yet. So, I have this little piece all forged up now. The handle's heating up in the fire. What I'm going to do, take that out, slide it through this hole, up here, so the tenon's here, clamp it in the vise, that over the top, rivet the end over. Hopefully. Here's the top finial, which we forge welded together, and then here's the one that we riveted on. That shoulder there, it's also pretty clean. I mean, that isn't quite as, I think I did this a bit of a silly way around really, forging a sphere and then squashing it, but I don't know. It still works, I like it. So, thank you for watching the video. On the next one, I'm going to clean this vise up a little bit more, probably do the spring, and I also have the bit, I don't know, that you use to bolt the vise down, which I need to attach as well. I think I'll do a collar and a wedge or something, I don't know. I'll have to look at the couple of designs and things, but anyway, thank you for watching, I'll see you soon.